Amama happened because I inherited some jewelry from my dadi. It made me feel that I have an inclination towards jewelry. I used to like tweak them, do things to them.
And when that message came in, $1 million, how was it?
COVID has been a blessing for brands like us. We really want to become the accessory brand of India.
Global dominance.
One breakthrough moment was Alia Bhatt wearing the earrings. She wore it for the screening of...
I'm not that magnanimous. I get very irritated. But the thing is, okay, fine, this is done, what next?
What I think is going to work does not work. And what I think ये तो बिल्कुल perform नहीं करेगा, performs.
Which is your favorite? Come on.
No.
You can't be like, no, I'm not telling this. But I would earmark इसको सामने की तरफ रखो or whatever, because this is what will 100% sell.
Yeah.
Nobody will even touch it. When people say that, oh, this is a hobby thing that you're doing, please come to my office, you'll realize what a big hobby it's become.
But then just one day came and I just was like, forget it, yeah.
So what next for Mama?
Welcome to another episode of That's So Mudita, where we dive into stories of creativity, craftsmanship, and the visionaries redefining India's luxury and retail landscape. Today, we are joined by Nikita Gupta, the founder of Amama Jewels. Thank you so much for joining us, Nikita. A brand that has been beautifully blended in India's age-old craftsmanship and global fashion sensibilities. Founded in 2019, Amama has grown so fast, Nikita. You must be proud.
Thank you for having me, Mudita. This has been really nice. I'm looking forward to a great chatting session and sharing and knowing things about you and telling about Amama. Yes, Amama is almost 6 to 7 years in the running now, and it has been a great journey in which I'm still learning myself. So I really can't say that I have learned a lot. I'm still learning a lot. But yeah, we started very, very small, and I started all by myself in terms of understanding what is the need in the market from whatever I have studied and all. So around, I think 2018 is when I had my first baby. Just immediately while I was having him, while I was pregnant, and I used to go in the market doing some research and all, and I delivered the baby and I went on to set up Amama all by myself. We set up the Shopify and everything.
Oh wow.
I was doing this while I was pregnant because I said if I get comfortable once I have the baby, then there is a possibility I might not go back to it, or I might just delay it more, that let the baby be certain age or something, and then it just gets delayed. So I really wanted it to be going on while I'm in the process of being a mom. So yeah.
You know, that's so interesting because between both my babies is when Warehouse came into being.
Yeah.
And I would say that between both the pregnancies, I think that's some sort of a productivity phase that women go
Right, maybe
through.
yes.
And which is another reason why we have this podcast, because we really want to talk to mompreneurs. And it's like even I get ideas and
Right.
thoughts, and there's so much exchange of thought process in with each other that
Right.
we have this. So tell me, how did you sort of manage being a mom and be it was a new journey for you on both ends?
It was really overwhelming, Mudita, but as I always say this, it's a teamwork. It's it takes a village. It takes a village. So touch wood, I was blessed to be in a good family, in a very supportive family, who pushed me, who understood my need to not only be a mother and wants to be something more. And I think it was just the back support that really helped me. I will not say that I did it alone, because my husband has been a very, very big. I think it ultimately is about the life partner now, because if there is a good share of responsibilities and you're not only worrying, which still happens, yesterday only I was messaging my best friend that my son was down with fever last night.
Oh God.
And I was messaging her that I have something very important in office and I have to be home today. I can't leave him in 102 fever.
Yeah.
Now what do I do? Yeah, I feel so torn between both sometimes. But I think that's how it is. It's something I've chosen. I really can't complain.
So strangely, when my son is down with a bad cough, and my husband's at home with him because I was like, I have to go. I've made this commitment, and I cannot
Right.
not be in office.
Right.
And I can't have someone else, take this podcast. But yeah, I so agree with you. It's your life partner. It's
Yeah.
a support system, and an overall, everything that kind of gets you to push forward. How old is your son now?
I have two boys. One is 7 and one is 3.
Oh, how nice! How nice. So yeah, you were telling me that between your pregnancies is when Amama came into being.
Right.
You set it up.
So the thing is that with my first one is when the culmination of the whole brand, because before these I was doing jobs, and I got married. I took up few jobs, and before marriage also I was doing few jobs with international brands because I studied retail management. So I took up jobs with all the.
You were with Louis Vuitton and Forever.
Yeah, so I've worked with a few such brands in retail space. And that was a great learning. It was a great learning. And I tell everyone who I meet now that if you've studied something in fashion, please be on the floor and take up something on the floor. Only backend cannot teach you things. And that has been a great learning for me in terms of understanding the customer and understanding the buying pattern. So that has been a great learning for me, and
It
because
teaches you more than college.
100%, and because Forever 21 was a different market altogether, and then Louis Vuitton is the ultimate luxury.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very different market. Again, a great insight.
So was that intentional?
I mean, not really, but Forever 21 kind of didn't work in India, and they were going through a very bad management shift. So we had to move on, and then next opportunity came in terms of Louis Vuitton. So I did take it up.
How nice. How nice.
So yeah, that was a very, very good insight in the luxury market,
And
which
then-
was just picking up in India that time.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So from Forever 21 to Louis Vuitton to Amama, like how did you figure that you wanted to get into such fantastic jewelry, I must say?
I kind of didn't do that because I did take up few other things in fashion. I did a marketing job with a media company, and then I tried doing some stints with Cosmo and all. This was all post marriage. Before marriage, a lot of things I was trying to figure out what exactly am I setting and getting into. Then I did few other startups which didn't work out. I tried to do some other mapping of fashion markets in Delhi and then making blogs out of it, which kind of worked. But then I started getting queries about that. Why aren't you giving this material to us? Why do we need to only read about it? We want to buy all this online, which is where I realized this gap, because jewelry market till then, if I'm talking about almost 10 years back, was very unorganized. You will either go to a Chandni Chowk or your designated jeweler from your childhood that your parents must have been going to buy things, but not something where you're going for someone to imitation jewelry or your costume jewelry.
Yeah,
You didn't really have fashion jewelry platform.
Yeah.
So I started putting few very curated things because I didn't have an in-house team to make stuff for me. I started curating from these markets only, and I started putting it on this platform where I named it Amama. And again, another problem occurred.
Why did you name it Amama?
Okay, that's a story that I have told, but yeah, the Amama happened because I inherited some jewelry from my dadi, who I used to call Amma.
Oh.
And my dadi, my Amma and my Bauji, they were into silver jewelry back in their hometown, Haryana. And they used to deal with silver. So they had lots of silver stuff, which obviously came all to me. They passed on to me. So I always had this. That's the most precious inheritance I think one can get, little or more or whatever.
Yeah,
it's very precious to me. But yeah, so that kind of always made me feel that I have an inclination towards jewelry. I used to tweak them, do things to them, and that's when I thought that jewelry is something that I should be exploring. So curation happened, then curation we started getting these queries that, it gets over very quickly. Curation can only be certain. Yeah, I can't mass produce it or something. And that's when I started thinking that I will have to take this in my hand now. And I hired my first karigar. I went to Paharganj, looked for a random boy. I made him sit in my drawing room and with the narada, and we started doing those patchwork jewelry, which is from where Amama really, really picked up.
Yeah.
This I'm talking
Bamboozled.
Yeah.
Yes, completely.
Yeah. So that patchwork jewelry, because it was big in look but not heavy on the ears.
Yeah.
I think that's where we
And
kind of
cost effective.
cost effective. Yes.
Yeah.
So entire COVID also went in that only. COVID, obviously we were worried because by then I had hired 8-9 karigars and there was a little team of sales and all. So how will we manage and all? But oh my God, I think again, as I always say, I should not be saying this, but COVID has been a blessing for brands like us and a lot of other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so COVID made the business really flourished and we saw the biggest numbers in COVID. And that was the biggest surprise because they're like, who's wearing and where are they
Where
going?
are they going? Yeah.
Wearing, taking jewelry.
True.
But I think it was just born out of the boredom that everyone was feeling at home, which is when they were doing shopping. But yeah, it worked great for us.
Yeah, I remember I chanced upon your profile when you were doing those Afghani necklaces.
Yes, that's
And
where
that was
we started it from.
Yeah.
Curation.
Yeah, those were stunning.
Yeah.
So how did you source it from Afghanistan?
Yeah, we used to find these very interesting people who used to come to India. But the thing is that usme bhi there were a lot of people who were doing kind of copies. But I used to take the only authentic ones and the more expensive ones because I didn't want to sell things which are again
stunning.
If I'm calling it a curation, I can't be selling things that are available hundreds, no?
Yeah.
So that's when we used to curate in the very, deeper eye that it's
Absolutely.
very different from what you're getting in the market.
Absolutely. So when you began, was it a gap that you saw or did you
100%. I still feel there is a gap. I don't see still a platform where it's totally focusing on accessories in our country, because you will get a platform where it's a mix of jewelry to clothing and then shoes and everything under one roof. But I really want something that just talks about accessories under one roof.
So that's what Amama is.
That's what Amama is trying to become.
Absolutely. And recently you secured a $1 million fund.
Yes,
Touch wood. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much for that.
How did that happen? I really want to learn this.
That's a very I don't think that's something that you can really learn, to be honest, Mudita, because it just happens with the flow. You have to keep at it and you have to keep pitching, and then you have to keep working constantly on your numbers.
Of course.
It's ultimately where you want to take the brand, your vision for next 3 years, 5 years is, how they talk about all this in the movies and all that, the vision should be clear.
Yeah.
So the moment I knew that I have set up my online business good enough and I am ready to take the next step in terms of offline expansion or something, some other way of expansion, is when I wanted to start infusing money, and that's when we went looking out for investors.
So is there a person that you reached out to?
Yes, we did reach out to a lot of VCs and we did do a lot of pitching in terms of all these.
How was that experience?
It's very exhausting, to be honest, because you have to keep repeating the same pitch and then you have to keep telling the same number and everything.
Is it from the Shark Tank and stuff? Is it very different from that?
Not really, to be honest, because you're kind of just trying to tell your story and your business story and your numbers the same way.
And when that message came in, $1 million, how was it? How many bottles of champagne did you pop?
No, I'm not much of a drinker, to be honest. So I think it was just gratitude for me that time. And of course, I think I'm a crybaby. After especially becoming a mother, I cry on everything. And I think I just cried because it's how you see now that you feel that you did not really envision that you might not reach till here. Or
I think also what happens with women entrepreneurs, and it's not, I hope that changes over time. It happened with me. I don't think we expected it out of ourselves.
Yeah.
When we started,
Right.
we don't know our own worth.
Right.
But the second you put a number on it,
Right.
it's a sort of a number validation. Did that happen with you as well?
100%, Mudita, because I was not cut for this. I was cut for a very different life because I come from a certain background, for a certain family. I wasn't cut
You're
for.
also Banya, no?
I'm a Jain.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was not cut for a business and an entrepreneur kind of life, but it kind of happened, and I want to thank everyone in this universe possible for bringing me till here. But yeah, so when certain such milestones happen, it really makes me reflect back and think that yes, it is the number game ultimately, and that gives you the ultimate validation that
Your grandparents' blessings.
yes, 100%. There is no way, because I thought named my brand after my dadi.
And with the jewelry and the
Yeah,
captains,
100%.
more than the commodity or the thing, it's their blessings upon you,
100%.
right?
I will not deny that.
Yeah. So one question that I have written here is that what is your design philosophy? But along with that, I also want to ask, what is your brand philosophy?
To sum it up in a word, I will say it's all about maximalism, because we're really not minimalists. I am not a minimalist. I really can't do minimal jewelry. So Amama, since the beginning, has been a lot about maximal jewelry, big statement jewelry. So that, I think, is going to be our design philosophy. And then obviously we really take a lot of inspiration from nostalgia and where we have come from. I mean, one thing, Mudita, that I really believe in is that you really cannot be away from your roots. You will have to stay true to your roots. So what my roots have been reflect in my work. What your roots are will reflect in your work.
Yeah.
And that's
the keystone.
Yeah, and that will also bring out the authenticity in your work, in your brand, in your personality, which is what I kind of feel shows in Amama.
Okay.
It has a lot to do with where I come from.
And what about your brand philosophy? Like the business end of things?
Amama is really trying and is going to keep trying. We really want to become the accessory brand of India.
Global domination.
Yes, 100%. That is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to be everywhere.
So, besides, I mean, of course, in India, one sees a lot of your work. What about the other countries? What is the chart?
We have a great presence, but obviously right now only through online, because our online store is globally. We
Of course.
cater to each and every market.
Any particular markets?
Yeah, we have great response from UK, and obviously US is the biggest market, and Middle East gives us a lot of business, because I'm assuming Middle East also is a lot into, first of all, jewelry, and then of course statement jewelry, because they love doing all this bling and everything.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but it's a mix of different kind of styles.
Offline presence in these places?
Not yet. We are working towards it. Yeah, that is another thing that is on the pipeline for next year. But right now we have enough of India to cover.
Actually, honestly, for me, for us also, a lot of people keep asking us about global presence, this,
Right,
that, and the
right.
other. But India is such a large country. Plus, I feel that India is really having its moment.
For sure.
With regards to be it design, be it retail, be it business, be it whatever. So, why not first cover the length and breadth of your own country before looking at other pastures or looking across the fence? Okay, we've seen a lot of Bollywood in Amama, touch wood, once again. And they are all wearing it in their distinct styles.
Right.
How does it feel, first of all, so which are the celebrities that have, I mean, I know it's a long list, but anyone's or any looks that you want to highlight in particular?
I think for us, one breakthrough moment was Alia Bhatt wearing the earrings very early on in our career, and her career also, maybe, I don't know. But she was, I think, in Venice Film Festival or something, and she wore it for the screening of Gangubai when she was promoting. And it was this white attire she was wearing. I think it was a pantsuit, and she did like these earrings that we had designed for a more Indian look. But she was wearing this with her pantsuit, and it really blew our presence. It really, really blew our presence. We saw the earrings everywhere. We kind of saw the counterfeits in next 2 months of the launch.
How do you tackle the whole count?
I think it doesn't bother me anymore. It used to for a long bit of time, but
because
not
it's your blood and sweat.
Yes,
So
but now I to get flattered. I feel it's good.
that's really good. I get very irritated with counterfeits.
No, now it doesn't bother me. It used to in the early stages of my career, but now it doesn't really bother me. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. What we have decided in Amama is that we're going to quickly move on. If the counterfeit has hit the market, there's nothing you can do to control it. You move on to your next collection. You sell that, you move on to the next, you move on to the next. There's nothing else you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a very positive look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could. But with us, it's the opposite. We have a lot of counterfeits of our show, of the concept of how we do things, or communication, or even digital.
I think it's just a form of flattery. You should just take it like that.
I wish. It does affect me for a day or two or a week. And then I'll be like, okay, fine, I'll sit in for meditation and and then I'm like, okay, out of my system. But I'm not that magnanimous as you.
It actually has nothing to do with being magnanimous. But it's really something you can't do anything about. Also, now I have to see it and I really enjoy watching that what they are doing, their take on it.
Yeah.
And it kind of is giving like business to a lot of other people. So it kind of feels nice.
I'm not that magnanimous. I get very irritated. But so Arya Bhatt, you said, was a huge moment.
Yeah, it was. And then obviously it followed with a lot of stylists, because it also has a lot to do with the stylists of our country who take notice, and then ultimately they are the ones who are styling these looks. So I'm going to give the credit to a lot of stylists who...
It was Alia Bhatt. It was a major movie. Gangubai was, I think, one of the major movies in her career as well. Right. And Venice Film Festival.
Yeah.
Amazing. What does the process of creating an Amama piece look like?
It's a very tedious process, and which we are also trying to figure out in terms of timeline and everything, because we really struggle with the timelines. But
so do you have seasons, or do you launch them by collection?
We launch them by collections according to the occasions and seasons. Like obviously we have to keep in mind the Indian festive, and that's also the stronger half of the season for us.
Yeah.
And obviously then holiday and then spring summer is taken care of accordingly. Valentine is another very important season for us, because gifting happens very heavily. So then we have seen over the years the trends and patterns where we see a spike and we see a lower season. I mean, everyone knows May, Junes are the lower season months for everyone. So we do different things in those seasons, and sale months come in.
Holiday buying must be happening.
Holiday buying happens, but because a lot of people, a major chunk of the country is traveling, and especially in metro cities, they also do that. We will go out and buy. Wherever we are traveling, we'll buy. So that is, I think, in terms of like buying pattern, is for us the lowest month, May and June. It starts picking up for us from July, when again, Tej and your festive kind of starts building up.
Gifting
and the Rakhi.
Yeah.
Rakhi is where it primarily starts from.
So this time in May, we had the Pret Edit show.
Right.
I think I was in talks with someone from your team on that as well, because the whole concept for us was to have everyone under one roof of people who want to buy for holiday, right? Because that has, I mean, personally, whenever we come up with something, there's a lot of research that's going at the back end, with where the buying pattern is shifting for that month. So we at least at our end, we saw a lot of people looking for brands to buy, especially if they're going to a place like, say, Maldives or Bali.
Yeah, resort is something that's very high.
Yeah, so there they don't have any place to shop over there.
Right.
So they want to buy from here, and they want to take their whole wardrobe, and thankfully Instagram has blessed us in that way that everyone wants to be Instagram ready with every day and every look and airport look and arrival look and all of that. So yeah, you were telling me how does that whole process take place?
So what happens is that it's obviously first of all, it's almost a 6 to 8 month process for a collection to come out. It's a really tedious, because the idea goes into discussion with the design team, and then the right time to launch, and then we do a back calculation on how many SKUs do we want, what performed earlier, what is not going to perform now, what is
of R&D.
A lot of R&D goes into it, keeping in mind what we have done in the past. And then the price points, because pricing is something that we have to take care of. Then of course, the production bit, whether it's going to be in-house, how we're going to do this, procurement, ye wo karke, we kind of get 2 months into the whole sampling stage. The sampling itself takes 2 months, and in the R&D and sampling stage.
For earrings, do you have something which is weight-centric?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
of
must
course.
be a criteria.
Yes, and because in the design flow, which I'm guessing you will also understand, where you must be doing your shows and all. Sometimes you do get overboard
Yeah.
with things, and in the design process, we do end up making certain earrings where we concentrate on the design, but then we forget about the weight. But then we say, irrespective, let's launch. If people are going to like it, they're going to like it, and fashion does come at a cost. Na? You are okay with wearing certain amount of weight for a certain period of time. It's okay.
Yeah.
So there is a mixed audience who say we only wear light. There is an audience who says we are okay with heavy as long as the look is being taken care of.
Yeah. I saw some stunning pieces on your deck right now, the ones you did with Abhinav Mishra.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They're like chandeliers.
Yeah, but we're sold out with that collection.
What are you saying?
Yes. So there is audience for everything.
Of course. Stunning. Yeah, so then sampling.
So sampling takes place, and then another 3 to 4 months we have to give just for the production. The moment sampling takes place, the piece goes ahead with all the checks in terms of pricing, in terms of whether it is the right fit to the collection or not. Because the sampling stage, you have a lot more SKUs which get obviously selected or not selected during the stage of whether it will go further in production or not, because now we have higher MOQs, so we can't just like produce just like that. We have to be very particular about what is going to sell. Now we have stores, so we have to also see what is going to work in which store, what kind of response is coming. So keeping all that in mind.
DLF Promenade and DLF Saket, correct?
No, we are in DLF Promenade and we are in DLF Mall of India, which is Noida. And we now have a store in Mumbai and one in Ahmedabad.
So where in Mumbai?
We are in Phoenix Market City, Kurla.
Oh, nice. And the other in Ahmedabad?
Palladium, Ahmedabad.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
How nice. So then you start supplying to your stores?
Yeah. No, so production takes place. While the production is taking place, we also do our own back-end work of the website, of social media, how it's going to get launched. So those 3 months we use to plan all the launch of that collection. And by the time production comes in, the QC checks happen, which also again take another 15-20 days, almost a month to be honest, because production delays is something that is hard to tackle.
Yeah.
So the production delay and everything gives us time for the campaign planning.
And you're producing it all in-house?
All in-house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then by the time all this is done, it's like
next cycle again.
Restart and reboot and restart.
Yeah, no, we have to in fact like take 1 or 2 more collections hand in hand. We can't. We can't be doing this and then start a new one.
Yeah.
The next, we've already started planning for next year's Diwali and Rakhi collection already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will be ready by March.
But that's what is the part of business, that it's you know, even though my team sort of makes fun of me when I do this, but the thing is, okay, fine, this is done, what next? This is done, what next? But
it's a never-ending thing.
It's never ending.
Also, I think with us, especially with the D2C brand, I think supply chain is the main crux. And we really struggle with it, because the moment something goes viral or something becomes a bestseller, we go out of stock with it.
Of course.
And then we have to restock it, and then we are talking, the production team says, ab 2 mahina lagega. I said, 2 mahina nahi lag sakta. He's like, hum nahi bana sakte. So we are constantly
to figure out what, or do you know in your gut that this has bestseller potential?
To be honest, Mudita, it's the funniest thing. What I think is going to work does not work, and what I think ye to bilkul perform nahi karega performs.
But that's with everybody. I want to get. Even when stocks used to, like back in the day, I don't know whether you know, warehouse started from this place. Like we used to have everyone's stock that used to come here. There used to be some pieces that I would take out from the rack and just push them to the side, that this will not sell. There's no chance that this will sell. And we used to run short on those.
Yeah.
And there were some pieces that I would earmark, ki isko samne ki taraf rakho or whatever, because this is what will 100% sell.
Yeah.
Nobody would even touch it. Tell me something, how do you balance tradition and modern design, ensuring that the brand stays relevant to the new age consumer?
As I was telling you, that we really take inspiration from nostalgia and where I have come from, where my team, because the team is also pretty much on the same lines as me, and it's a teamwork. So we try to do like a trend study on what has performed, what we can look back at, and then what is upcoming and what is happening globally. So we kind of try to merge a lot of all of that sensibility as to so that people feel this is closer to home, and yet this is globally acquired and globally recognized style. So we try to mix both of them in our styles. And then accordingly, it depends on what kind of range, because festive, we really feel our strength right now is with festive and more, occasion wear stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. So that really I feel is
Which
a
is your favorite?
collection or...
It's like picking a baby. Which is your favorite? Come on.
No, I
So
really
there's
can't.
you have a bindi mehendi,
Yes. Oh my God, that went viral and how?
Sahara earrings.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't pick. You can't choose between your right eye and left eye.
Oh my God, I say the same thing to my kids, by the way.
Yeah, because they...
Yeah.
Oh God, there's
Yeah.
no end to this question. Who do you love?
Who's your favorite?
Who's your favorite?
And I said the
for
same
them,
thing.
for both my boys, it's like
Yeah.
you only love Papa the most.
And my
I said,
daughter-
I'm glad you see that.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
With my kids, my older one doesn't have a response.
How old are you?
So my daughter's 14 and my
Oh,
son
wow.
is 7.
Wow.
8. My son is 8 and my daughter is 14. But my daughter doesn't have a response to it. I mean, she's sick of asking and hearing the answer.
Also, she's in her own world now.
Yeah. And my younger one, he would do this. He would shut one eye and he's like, I like my right eye more.
Yeah.
So he has a quirky answer to it.
Right.
So that digital presence has contributed to Amama's story.
Yes, for sure. I mean, like how? I don't think we would have had that kind of recognition if not for Instagram.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
things. I think it's made the overall communication easier.
Right.
Because earlier you could only sort of, be in your FNF, in your friends and family circle.
Right.
With digital, that circle becomes wider and wider and wider, and you're not restricted to your own privatized
Right.
situation.
No, it really gives you the window to show your creativity in terms of just the product, because how much of a product can you keep showing?
Yeah.
It's not a catalog. Instagram is a medium to show your creativity. You don't have to make it into a catalog thing.
It's more conversational.
Yeah,
It's
so
more
that's how we try to communicate our campaigns, where we're trying to show some feeling, some memory it can unlock in your life, and not just the product.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. Amama's ethos celebrates women not just as consumers but as creators and storytellers. How do you see women shaping India's fashion narrative today?
I mean, Mudita, this is a very, I think, a very close to heart conversation for me, because if I talk about the whole change, is you can see that every house now has an entrepreneur, is trying to do something, which shows the change in itself. Nobody wants to only be running a house, although I don't feel there's anything wrong in it. Running a house is a big enough responsibility in itself, but they also want to do beyond things like that. So there's every house which will have some or the other small or large business running, which the women are taking up,
Because I feel it gives you financial independence,
which is very important.
which is very important.
Yes.
Not anything else, but just that whole thing that today, if it's my 100 rupees, it's my 100 rupees.
Right.
I will decide where to spend it and what to do with
Right.
it, or maybe not spend it.
Right.
But then that onus of that lies on. And I think that is where there's been that shift, because earlier, back when warehouse started, for big ticket items, we noticed that there used to be a larger group of people who would come in, especially for bridals, the father, mother,
Right.
Now girls are coming with
They can take this.
they take decisions regardless of the cart value. They're taking that decision and they are making their own purchases themselves.
Right.
So that has been a shift in my eyes.
No, 100% there has been a shift, because everyone understands the importance of, I think, being independent in today's time, and it's also need of the hour.
Absolutely.
It's not something anyone is going to do only as a hobby. Everyone has to be independent. It should be like a thing.
So it's a big pet peeve for me when people say that, oh, this is a hobby thing that you're doing. Like, please come to my office. You'll realize what a big hobby it's become.
Yeah.
But
But that's how it is perceived. Women working still is taken as a hobby. Yeah.
yeah. What message would you like to send to a young woman who's building a brand of her own, who looks up to you in the creative industry?
Oh no.
There are many, let me tell you.
This is it's very sweet and very nice to hear. But I will just say, like, stop second guessing and just do it. That's what I tell everyone, because this is what I did and wasted a lot of time. And I used to, like, all the time second guess. No, this is not going to work. नहीं, लोग क्या कहेंगे? ये तो ऐसे नहीं दिखेगा. Instagram when was more of a photo medium. I used to think, what if I put this picture and they're like, oh, what she's doing, ye wo. And I used to second guess a lot. But then just one day came and I just was like, forget it, yaar. क्या बोलेंगे, क्या कह लेंगे, अपने घर में बोल लेंगे जो बोलना है.
Is this the same message you would give yourself 10 years back?
Yes, I wish someone would have been that pushy with me in saying just do it.
Take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
But it comes in from such a deep-rooted
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
sense
we're
of-
conditioned.
Yeah, patriarchy also. And
Right.
yeah.
It's a different podcast altogether. We
Podcast, yeah.
can do around that.
We'll do one with like a bunch of women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And how do you personally stay inspired? Because yours is a all-out creative process.
It's the response that I think we get, Mudita, that really, like, keeps me upbeat and inspired. Because the moment a collection goes viral or a piece becomes a bestseller, I'm like, next.
Yeah.
Next, move on to next. We have to bring more hits and things that will be seen on people. And then when the copies happen, we know that they have become a hit.
Yeah.
And for example, the bindi art you were talking about, that really went viral. And people were copying, and we were seeing inspirations of people doing reels with things on their hands. So it was a lot of fun that what next should we bring, which really inspires me and my team a lot.
Yeah. It's a dynamic industry that you're a part of. It's very, very dynamic.
Yeah.
So it must be fun also.
It's a lot of fun. I love what I do.
It's not possible to do it without
Yeah, no, I
loving.
really enjoy.
So what next for Mama?
There's lots in the pipeline, Mudita. We are really looking at offline expansion. We are coming up to more stores in Delhi, and then we are looking at expanding pan-India. So a lot of expansion in that sense. And of course, the global expansion is on our mind. And we're also working towards technologically advancing in Amama, because AI is the thing. So how we can incorporate that in our jewelry market, and what kind of newness we can bring in terms of categories and accessories, that all is in the pipeline.
So we have a rapid fire.
Oh, wow.
You have to be very rapid, and you can't be like, oh, no, I'm not telling this, that.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to start. The name of our rapid fire is Spill the Stitch. And I'm going to start, okay? Gold or silver?
Silver.
Statement choker, minimal hoops.
Statement choker.
Your go-to accessory when running late.
The earrings.
One celebrity you'd love to see wearing a mama.
Sonam Kapoor, she hasn't worn yet.
Oh, something to wish list, something to manifest.
Yeah.
3 words that describe your design style.
Maximal and yet minimal. I mean, yeah, I don't know. 3
Jewellery all the way.
Jewelry all the way.
Yeah. One piece of jewellery you'll never take off.
No, I don't think there is anything, because I am a very comfort-driven person. So at night, everything has to come off and I want to sleep without anything.
Dream collaboration, Indian or international?
Indian. I am totally a desh ka bachcha.
No, but dream collaboration in India.
There have been a few on our list, but I don't think I have thought of the dream collaboration yet. I don't know. Maybe like a Sabya would be a dream collaboration for me.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it from us. And
Yeah.
it's been such a wonderful chat, Nikita. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Same here, Mudita. This was very well crafted, to be honest.
Oh, I'm so happy to
Yeah,
hear
no,
you
this
say
was
that.
very nice and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I told you. This is going to be like a chilled out chat.
Yeah, this can go on for like another 2 hours.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
so
Thank you for
much.
having me.
Not at all. And I'm really surprised that this is the first time
Yeah.
we are meeting.
You should come to our office now next.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I can show you our production unit and stuff.
Absolutely. It will be a lot of fun. I'll get my daughter. She's heavily into jewelry
Yeah.
and she's into making her own jewelry.
Oh.
So she'll sit with a wire and she'll twine it, and she made these ear cuffs also sometime back. I'll send you a picture.
You must get her.
with you.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please get her.
For sure.
Done.
So thank you so
Thank you.
much.